Is an AI master's degree actually worth doing? A couple of months ago, I asked that question on LinkedIn, and it triggered quite a lot of debate. Some people thought a master's degree was unnecessary because you can learn AI through online courses, projects, and real-world experience. Others argue that a structured degree gives you depth, discipline, and a stronger theoretical foundation. I wasn't really asking a question to start a debate. I was considering enrolling in one myself. After looking at the options, weighing up the trade-offs, and probably overthinking the decision more than I needed to, I've now started a master's degree in artificial intelligence. In this video, I want to explain how I reached that decision. I'm not going to tell you whether the degree itself is worth it yet. I'm only about a month in, so it's too early to make that judgment. But I'm going to explain the decision-making process, what mattered to me, and why the right answer will be different for different people. So I actually wanted to study AI when I did my bachelor's degree. At the time, I was planning to take an AI-focused course, the only one available in the UK, but I changed direction at the last minute because I decided I didn't like the university that was offering it. It didn't feel right, so I switched and studied computer science instead. That worked out well, but the interest in studying AI never really went away. The situation is very different now, though. I run a full-time business, I have a family. My time has more competing demands than it did when I was an undergraduate. So the question wasn't really, do I want to study AI? Yes, I still do after 30 years. I already knew the answer then. The real question was, is studying for a master's degree worth the trade-off? Because every hour I spent studying has to come from somewhere. It comes from the business, or it comes from my evenings, weekends, family time. It might simply mean having less time to train or less time to relax. That made the cost of the degree much larger than just the tuition fee. So I kept coming back to three questions. First, would it give me a meaningful return on my investment? Secondly, could it realistically fit around my work and family life? And thirdly, would the coursework be practical enough for what I wanted to achieve? Those three questions form the basis of my decision framework. The first thing was, what does return on investment actually mean to me? For many people, return might be a new job, promotion, a higher salary. That's not my main motivation. I do work in tech as a software engineer, and I run my own business. I'm not looking for a qualification to help me get through an employer's recruitment process. For me then, the return was the learning itself. I wanted the experience of studying AI in a structured way. I wanted to deepen my understanding of the subject, fill in some gaps in my knowledge, and explore areas I might not naturally cover through shorter courses or the day-to-day work I've done in AI. There's also an element of personal satisfaction, something I wanted to do for a long time. Completing it would mean quite a lot to me, even if it doesn't directly impact my income. So when people ask whether a degree is worth it, they often treat ROI as one universal definition, but it doesn't. A degree might be a poor financial investment for one person, and a great personal investment for another. You need to know what return you're actually looking for before you can evaluate the cost. The second question is probably the most important. Could I realistically fit the degree in while I was running a business and while I have a family? Looked at range of traditional university programs. A lot of them looked interesting, but many of them weren't genuinely self-paced. They might have been delivered online, but they still had fixed semesters, scheduled sessions, strict deadlines, or a workload that assumed that you could structure your entire life around the course. That's not realistic for me. My workload changes. Some weeks are manageable, others become extremely busy, and often without much warning. I needed a course that could fit around my life, rather than forcing me to fit my life around the course. Flexibility wasn't a bonus I was looking for, it's a key requirement. I also wanted the ability to pause or slow down if the degree started affecting the business or my family life. Without that flexibility, there was a real risk that something I was excited about would quickly become a chore and a source of stress. Don't need that. The third consideration was the style of learning. A number of university programs I explored leaned heavily towards academic and theoretical work. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, if you want to go into research or to pursue a PhD, it's probably great, but that's not my goal. I want to build things. I want to understand the theory, but only enough to apply it. I'm more interested in using AI to solve problems and to create working systems than I am in becoming an academic and researching AI. That made programs with practical, project-focused approach more attractive to me. After comparing the options, I'm still interested, but I wasn't completely convinced. Then a few things happened that caught my attention. Saw an advert that Udacity was doing an MSc in AI. On top of that, they ran a sale that brought the advertised cost of the MSc in artificial intelligence to around $2,000. Then I learned that they support recognition of prior learning. That means some of the work and training I've already completed could potentially count towards a degree, reducing both the time and total cost involved. Those two factors changed the risk calculation. A higher price, I felt pressure to complete the degree, even if it started interfering with other priorities of my life. At $2,000 or less with the RPL, monthly payments and the ability to pause at any time, the decision felt less permanent and less risky. I could start the program, enjoy the learning, see where it fit into my life. If I abandoned it, it doesn't matter. If it became too disruptive, I could step back without feeling I had made an enormous financial commitment. Sometimes a decision becomes easier when you have to worry about what it costs to succeed, and you can just see that the downside is manageable. And in this case, I felt it was. Is it worth it? Well, I don't know yet. I'm only about a month into the program. So far, I'm happy with the decision. But I can't really comment on how good it is after just a month. I need to get further along. Don't know how demanding the later modules will be, how consistently practical the program will be, and how the workload is going to fit in a longer period. What I can say is that the decision made sense based on my circumstances. I had a real interest in AI, not relying on the qualification to get a job, and at just under $2,000, the cost is low enough for me to tolerate the financial risk. I have the flexibility I want through Udacity. The program appears to be aligned with my goal of building practical skills. Doesn't mean it'll be the right choice for everyone. If you're looking for a specific certification to get into a job, maybe look at what employers are evaluating there. Money is tight. Compare the degree with less expensive courses and self-directed learning. And if you don't enjoy structured study, enrolling in a degree is probably not going to end well for you. If you value the learning experience, want more structure, can manage the cost and time commitment, it might be worth exploring. For me, the decision wasn't based on believing the master's degree is essential. It was based on deciding that this particular opportunity offers an acceptable balance of learning, flexibility, cost, and risk. I'll give you a proper review of Udacity's MSc AI when I've progressed far enough. But for now, I'm enjoying it. I feel it's a good decision. If you're interested, at the time of recording, Udacity is offering a 50% discount when you go through somebody's referral link. Mine is in the description below. Check the current price and terms before enrolling though. I'm not affiliated with Udacity. They're not involved in this video. If you use my link, you get a discount and I get a $50 gift card. So technically, we're making the return on my investment even better. Thanks.